but both days really. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the countdown clock. We are going live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and I'll be with you in a moment. I just need to get the right microphone. I've got a new microphone, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it. And the only thing is that I need to put my reading glasses on to actually read what it says on the screen. Just a minute. Oh dear. Choices. That's it. Nope. That's it. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
You can hear me. Good. Right. Well, that's important when I switch the microphones. Okay. So we've still got 10 seconds left. Everything's working.
Does this countdown clock go on at 10 exactly?
Yeah. And we're here. Glasses off. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Peter.
Morning.
All right. Okay. Blabbing for Britain. What episode are we on? I don't think I've actually altered it. Just a minute. I haven't. That's remiss. Oh, see, when you focus on one thing, everything else goes to hell in a handbasket. So let's just say this officially. Blabbing for Britain, episode 344, UK News Review. Sorry about that, John. I'll put it like this. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's been quite a rush this week. It has been early Amazon Prime days, which is Prime days for Prime members early. And been quite a few bargains to be had, it has to be said.
Do you know what I bought?
What did you buy, John?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, I'm saving me money for a couple of things I want to buy, but until I am in a position to buy them, I won't be mentioning them.
Right, okay. Well,
I mean, you see, because I'll look a fool if I say I'm going to buy one of these and I don't, won't I?
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of dress rehearsal for Black Friday, really. I mean, it was purely, totally commercial for Amazon to sell more in difficult times. And it was 2 days. I mean, the thing though was that there were literally hundreds of people broadcasting at the same time, which was good to see. It meant you had to fight for viewers, but it was a great experience. And I went live at I went live at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 6 o'clock for 2 days. So the show's yours today. I'm knackered.
And now it's the end of the day, and we'll see you same time, same place next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, Peter. Why are you in Edinburgh, as the Brits call it?
Okay, I'll just come back then. I was doing things behind the scenes there for the camera. Right. Okay. So
we can see your screen in your glasses, mate.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to wait it to come off. It's to protect my eyes, actually. Yeah, so earlier on the year, I'd done a wee bit of singing for the RAF Benevolent Fund, and they invited me down to the castle in a room which most people probably don't get into. So I just took the opportunity to come down. But so we'd done that last night. It wasn't the most exciting night because it was a case of coming off a train into a hotel, walking up the Royal Mile with a sore foot, and into the castle, into the gates, and then I went into this hall and listened to talks and things like that. And then we come out and the RAF pipe band, one of them, they played, and then I went down the Royal Mile and then into my hotel again. But it was funny, the first chap I met coming up the Royal Mile just went through the security barrier together. And it was such a funny thing because introduced myself, it was going up, and it turned out that he'd been a boy soldier as well in Arborfield. right? This has got a fascinating story, this guy. So he'd been a boy soldier like me, but he was an army apprentice, they called it, and he joined the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. And he got posted to the 4th 7 Royal Dragoon Guards, which is, I think they were a Yorkshire regiment, but it was Chieftain Tanks. And I'd been in Chieftain Tanks, we chatted about that. But I said, well, why are you in the RAF? And he had a beard, they're allowed beards in RAF now. He says, I'm a squadron leader. Or, squadron leader or a 2IC. I said, but you joined the army. He said, no. He said, but I left the army. And I came out and I got a job and I decided to do an engineering degree or something like that. He went. And the RAF come along and said, well, look, he'd been a TA soldier as well. So he joined the Territorial Army. But when he left that, when he was doing his degree, the RAF come along and said, we're looking for reserve officers. He put his name in. He became a reserve officer. Ended back in Afghanistan, Iraq, or whatever. And then he left and he became a teacher. And then later on, his mate phoned him up and says, they're taking people of your age back in and to get incentives. So he joined. And I said, so it was the RAF Benevolent Fund, and he'd come up from northwest Cumbria. He came up from an RAF station there. Forgotten the name of it now. I never heard of it before. I says, so why are you here then? How come you ended up? He says, my commanding officer said he would come. The commanding officer of the station, what we're called.
Yeah.
And he said, but he couldn't make it. So I was volunteered. So he says, they've got a driver. Up you go. And he was, but I thought, wow, what a fascinating life. He joined as a basic, apprentice mechanic, really. He was an electrician. And that was his career. And he jumped back and forth. And now, I said, so you're still in the Air Force? He goes, yes. A nice guy, it was great. And he actually met a woman there. He knew she was giving the talk. And she's heavily involved with she'd been a near air vice marshal or something like that. He says, I actually know her. So, but then he said, what about you? And I told a nice story about my life. He says, you've got a fascinating life. So that's the story of, I just thought it was great, But I couldn't get used to the beards, RAF people beards. Do you know how that came about?
No, I'm interested, Peter.
Well, the Navy wear beards.
Yes.
But you have to ask permission. You have to put in a check to get a beard, and you've got to grow it. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm growing a beard." You've got to get prior permission. So that stops guys not turning up unshaved. Anyway, I found out that people were coming in to join the RAF, people of today's age, and they've got beards when they come into the recruiting office. And it said, yeah, okay, remember, your beard would have to go. What? My beard would have to go? Oh, I'm not joining the RAF then. And they says, well, we're losing a lot of good people for a fact that they wanted beards. But you know what I would have done? I said, well, good. That's not the sort of people we want in the forces. If they can't shave a beard off, that's fine by me. On you go, sunshine. You won't be becoming an apprentice with us and let us pay you. Because next thing you'll be sending a note to your mother saying the sergeant told you off.
There are many good people with beards, Peter. I mean, we know one.
It's very much a trend if you're under 30 today to have a beard. Very much a trend. And I tell you what, I can almost have a beard than I ever could. My beard is laziness, nothing other than laziness. I hate shaving, and this way I trim it once a fortnight. And yes, it's about due for a fortnightly trim. You're frozen, Pete?
Yeah. Your signal's going.
I reckon if you took it off, you'd be 10 years younger.
Oh, we've got our first spam of the day. I'm not putting that on screen, that's for sure. I know that's spam. Okay.
Guys, for me it's unstable. Well, I'm unstable, but is it internet? You want to use?
You can hear you. You can switch your camera off, Peter.
Pardon?
Say again.
You're just frozen, but we can hear you talking.
Switch your camera off.
Switch what off?
Camera.
I was on his laptop. He probably can't.
Well, he can't. He cannot. He cannot be live.
So one call can change your life.
Can't make it out. I can't make it out.
Rich. Well, you don't want to make it out. First of all, it's in hieroglyphics, then it's in English.
Peter, are you still there?
It's just a load of twaddle.
Peter,
he says he can't read it.
He's gone and coming back. I just switched his camera off for him. Make life easier. Are you actually reading our spam? Only thing is, we're going out on the live video production page today. Live video hub this evening. That's
the spam is in what I would imagine is Indian hieroglyphics, yeah, or
Hindu
alphabet, and then it goes into English. I'm never quite sure though which language it's in, because they have multiple languages, don't they? But basically, it says I'm a fantastic translator. It says one call can change your life. You've got a phone number, and then 1, love problems solutions, 2, business problem solutions, 3, get your love back, etc., etc. It's, of course, money on the big number that it's called.
Yeah, it's basically it's to try and catch. It's not for us. I mean, it's obviously not designed as a comment for us, but it's a comment for anybody who watches the video afterwards. Which is fine, but the only thing is that people don't read the comments; they just look at the video. There's a bit of a, I mean, if people did look at comments, then it'd be worthwhile doing. But I suppose you feel better having done it. I suppose that's one thing. Okay.
Come home, Pete, all is forgiven.
Yeah. If he reboots his machine, what he needs is mobile 5G, 4G, doesn't he?
Yeah.
When he's out and about. Let's sell him one. Not necessarily from Amazon, but if he gets a hotspot thingy.
But he's got a 5G phone, so can have 5G hotspot on his phone.
Well, on his own phone, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's suggest it to him. Tethering is the thing. And if you can explain to him.
Using the hotel's Wi-Fi, you've just got no control, and usually it's pretty useless anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got an unlimited data plan, then tethering is the answer, isn't it?
Well, I have got an unlimited, but I got 120 gig. And I barely use 5 in a normal month, and I quite happily stream things all the time.
All right, let's try again. Take 2.
3, 2, 1, go!
Hello again, Peter. Hello again, Peter.
Right, I'm going to wait a rant here. I have paid £3 for internet connection in this hotel. Why does my hotspot give a better signal than a hotel?
Because
on a Wi-Fi.
Because you don't know how many people you're sharing Wi-Fi with. Yeah.
Get more internet.
It's the old argument, of when you're connected by a cable, you've got a one-to-one connection. When you're connected by Wi-Fi, you're sharing it with an unknown number of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having it.
No, it's basically the best thing you can do, Peter, is to tether to your phone.
Yeah.
When you're out and about. What's your data plan like? Is it limited or unlimited? And
it's gone again.
Yeah. I mean, basically, Nick Wood, basically, he had this situation that he didn't have decent Wi-Fi in his house. I mean, he lives down in Hampshire. Should have decent internet, but he didn't. And he was broadcasting in Amazon Live, and he was tethered to his phone, tethered to his iPhone. And whilst it wasn't the best signal in the world, it was better than his internet. So tethering is a good option, because he used to broadcast for an hour and a half at a time. Yeah.
Who was that? Sorry,
Nick Wood. Nick Wood.
Oh yeah, I've seen him popping up. Yeah.
Yeah, he tethered it to his iPhone and broadcast live until he got
broadcasting that way. Yeah. He's gone again anyway.
Then he moved house, and that had better internet, but he had no internet in the kitchen, and he was doing a cooking show. And because he had bad internet in the kitchen, his cooking show was bitty. Yeah. So what did he do? What's the solution if you've got good internet but it's patchy? You go and get a TP-Link Deco, like Peter and I did, and then you've got networking throughout. And he can now broadcast from his kitchen without any problem at all.
And I've just put Virgin Media have sent me their extender. It's not like a traditional extender at all. It's a big an octagonal thing about that size, and I've put that downstairs directly underneath the office, and that has taken it from 20 megabits sitting at the kitchen table. That's because the kitchen table area is an extension, and there's a giant RSJ supporting the upstairs wall, but now I've got something that sits under the level. It's gone from 20 megabits if you're lucky at the kitchen table to about 250 to 280 depending on the way the wind's blowing, and that was free. And I can have another one as well if I want it, but I probably don't, because I'm probably going to move. But don't tell Virgin Media yet.
We won't tell Virgin Media.
Well, Virgin Media's gigabit, and you get discounts all over the place, so it's impossible to do a fair comparison. But on paper, Virgin Media's gigabit or Gbit, whichever they call it this week, because the marketing people keep changing it, that is 111.50 down, but it's only 52 up. And now that GigaNet on City Fibre is going live next week in this area, that's 957 down and 957 up, guaranteed, and it's £40 a month. But they don't do any of the TV. But we only ever use the general, ordinary, everyday channels anyway. So paying for rented boxes is a bit of a waste of time. And Celia doesn't know how to record a program, and I have no interest to record a program. So since Alice left, which is quite some time ago, probably about 7 years, nobody's ever recorded a program on either of the TiVo boxes that we have in the house. So I'm probably going to downgrade to a smarter TV or a smart TV, or add a small Rock-U type box to the TV that Celia uses, and if that works okay, we'll do the same in here, and Virgin Media can collect all their kit. But that's a plan, because I'm going to let a couple of other people go live in the area before I do. But to entice you, they're giving 3 months internet free at the moment.
Good. So, Peter. Oh, sorry, John.
Yeah.
You were about to say,
Peter, or is that some blurred object?
Right. Say again.
Hello, Peter.
Hello.
Can you hear
me?
We can hear you. Yeah, we can see the picture's a little bit better than it was. Yeah.
Okay. So what I might do is take a camera off.
Okay. Right, got 2 cameras on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Carry on, guys. I'm listening.
What we got exciting to talk about then?
England cricket. Right, now, having moved on, England are playing Australia at the moment in Australia and doing rather well. So congratulations to the English cricket team. Okay, which all brings us, well, there's only one thing. The economy. The economy.
Well, I filled up on Monday morning 180.9 of diesel. I didn't fill up. I actually only put 50 odd quid's worth in because I'm not really going anywhere these days. By Tuesday morning, it was 184.9. So the economy is tanking, so to
Oh, nice one, John. Yeah. Basically, the Bank of England tomorrow is going to stop printing money, and then we're going to fall off the edge of a cliff, Peter.
Well, it's obviously my turn to feel the pinch. I've just looked at how much more money I'm owed in my business. I'm not going to mention it.
Okay.
But when I go back, I've got to sit down and say, when is a customer a customer?
Right.
When they're paying, when they are paying. And
Mm-hmm.
I've really got to sit down now, and I've told the guys, and on no uncertain terms, if we come to your home or it's a landlord, we've got a habit of saying to people, they'll say to them, oh, just invoices. But that's stopping now.
Yeah.
Hi, this is what we do. This is the price. We'll send you over. Say it's a landlord in London, right?
Yeah.
So, boom, here's the ticket, sign it, send it back. Then, no, not just send it, here's our price, here's the telephone number to pay. Once you have done both of those,
Yeah.
we will then attend to your problem.
Yeah.
Once you have done both of those, yeah, then no more running after people. Because I had one guy recently, and I'm not saying, he gave me a 1-star review because I chased him for his money that he was due me.
Yeah.
Since April. He ignored us, he never got in touch, he never had any complaints, said nothing until we threatened to take him to small claims. Then the 1-star review goes up. And I was fuming. And luckily for me, I happened to turn on the radio one day, Radio 4, a program I don't usually listen to. And it was about Google reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think is better to have, a 5-star review or a 4.9 or a 4.8? What's better?
The 4.8 because no one believes the 5 stars.
Exactly. So this man had put it up, and I was gonna call him everything, but a friend of mine who's in HR says, no, just do what you have to do, but don't. I was going to say certain things and put stars, so you could know what a word was and all that sort of thing. But anyway, I just replied, and I found the evidence, got my evidence, and then I just put it on my review, and I felt better for it. Anybody that's looking at that should be able to know what has happened there. I was going to put in it, and we know the 1-star review came up once we chased you for our money, but I was told don't do that either. What do you think?
I think it's right, because if you've got a 1-star review with little there and no reply, people will just scroll past it. If you start replying to it, they're going to stop and concentrate on it, Peter.
Yeah.
We was told to reply. I reply to everyone, good or bad. And maybe people should see it for what it is. I think if you don't reply, you're hiding from it, personally.
Well, okay, you could say thank you for your review, but don't make a big fuss, because if you make a big fuss, it instead of it being a little bit as people scroll down, it's suddenly become a big bit.
Okay.
And did they use their real name?
Yes, they did.
Every single negative review I've seen is more or less false. Did he actually use his own name?
Yeah. No, this because I traced them. See, when you call us in, we've got to trace who you are, etc. No, just need to look at the dates and things. So I done that, but Yeah, I just thought I'd put some facts for people to see there, and yeah, but we'll just see how we go. But what we're going to do is just try and flood it out, and get the newest one put in. But unfortunately, I think they actually put the most negative one up first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you've to live. Yeah, on you go.
No, sorry, Peter, carry on. Okay, see you
No,
both.
I think you've just got to live it. There is a bit of a delay with me, folks. So just say it yourself 1, 2 before we break it.
So I do that with John all the time.
You've just got to deal with it. How it is. Nobody likes a 1-star review, but some hotels get. Oh, what I was going to say, there was this guy found out. He found out who gave him a bad review, and he looked him up on the internet, and he was going about giving people lots of bad reviews, right? And he tried to trace who he was, but what happened is he took him to court. Guess what happened? He won his case. They won their case, and defamation and stuff like that. And the judge ordered all costs against that person too, because it was malicious. So there you go. Okay.
I don't have crisp on at the moment, and there are noises off. So I thought I'd turn my microphone off and then turn it back on again. Okay, that's right. Do you think Liz Truss will survive as Prime Minister? No, you both got your microphones off.
I'm not. I just think you're asking the question to a lucky dip. Who knows?
I mean, come on, folks. Everybody's got to get a chance. I mean, how many weeks has she been in a job? They can't judge her till after a year anyway. It's a year before they can do anything. So suck it up just now, and let's try and. I'll tell you, if she'd done 3 things good and 1 bad, they would concentrate on the bad one, and they wouldn't worry about the 3 or the 4 or the 5 or the 6 and get the economy back. They would just snipe and snipe and snipe. Now, did you know where the SNP held their conference this year?
Hopefully in Scotland, but somewhere in Scotland.
You don't know that, do you? You don't know it. Generally, don't know.
I actually watched Nicola, but I don't know where she was speaking from.
Well, it's held in Aberdeen.
All right, yeah,
it's in Aberdeen.
Fine, yeah.
And she said she hates the Tories. That hasn't went down well. Were you aware of that?
No.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of criticism about saying things like that. That it's not very professional, was one of the things said.
Yeah. She hate the Tories. Yeah. And this is a sort of a land living. Well, I've got news for you, Nicola. A lot of people hate the SNP. I can tell you. And so here's the thing. You know about all these people in.
It's gone again.
You're frozen, Peter. Yeah, I think the best solution is for Peter to switch his camera off when he comes back. He's going to disappear and come back.
Or tend to his phone. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's speak about Burnley because Peter's not here.
Burnley, where's that?
They're 4th in the Championship, John. You can't knock that. We've only lost 1 game.
Where's Burnley? I wasn't talking about the football club. Somewhere up north, isn't it?
It is up north.
Or down south.
It's north of Manchester. 20 miles north of Manchester, Burnley. Population 75,000. Great place. Don't know anybody.
You escaped from it, didn't you?
Sorry?
You escaped from it, and now you live down south.
I did. Yes. I did escape, and I am down south. I'm just going to close that. I'm glad. Well, I don't like the reason I did, but in retrospect, I've had 3 different lives, I suppose, so far. I think this is because we go through various phases and live in different places. And
well, I knew you in your Midlands phase, and now I know you're in your Southwest phase.
Indeed, so that's 2 out of 3. First phase involved, well, it was an amazing 24 years and 2 sons. One of whom came to visit. James, James came to visit us with Karen.
All right. He's the one that lives in Australia.
Yeah, that's the ones in Brisbane. You're back again, Peter, but you're very still. Right.
Yeah, well, you've got to remember, I'm on a mobile phone signal, really, that's hotspotting for me.
Oh, right. You've gone to your mobile phone.
Yeah.
I have been up most of the thing, but it's popping off and on as well. I'll put it up beside the window so you get a better signal. No. But it's just unfortunate. See what's any better. Get a better signal. Does it make a better signal if you put it next to the window?
A general question.
That's what the building's made of, doesn't it? But generally, it can help.
It's a big stone building.
We've down the allotments. I know I talk about the allotments a lot, but we've got what we call the community hub, which we redecorated and refloored over the last 2 years. Can't use your mobile phone in there at all because it's a metal container that's been converted into a building, rather like a room, rather than there. So we got kitchen, sink, microwave, cooker, all sorts of things in there, electric. But your phone's totally out of place unless you go outside.
So are you going to build an extension with a roof on it so people can go outside and chat, then come back in?
Funny enough, about 18 months ago, about 150 feet from it, they put up a 5G mast.
That still doesn't help.
These are generally the days of this being a Vodafone mast or a mast or so is pretty much gone. It's one mast, but it has multiple people's kit hanging off it these days. And this particular mast hardwire joins the internet via Virgin Media, because there's a box with Virgin Media on it, and it goes into their cable in the middle of the road.
So what you're telling us that
EE, Vodafone, and somebody else.
They're all working together.
We've got no choice.
That's a question.
They won't let them put up masts everywhere for individual people anymore.
Peter.
Yeah. So here's the thing for you. That's a good idea, right? Be able to share that. So if we're the United Kingdom, why in a place like Aberdeen have we wait? Why have we got to wait for something like John's got in Birmingham? Why is this happening? Why is it not all shared equally?
Well, I think it's they've got together because they've ceased to be able to get 4G masts went everywhere, and 3G as well, with individual organisations owning them. But the council stopped giving them planning permission to put masts up unless they.
Oh, right.
So they've had to move into a shared mode.
Is it a government infrastructure like BT's got an?
No, it's not a government infrastructure. It's people working together to create a unified structure. But the 4G mast went up. 5G mast went up. The 4G mast is still 200 yards further down the road. It's still there. And within a week, they'd set fire to the mast and all the cabinets. It was replaced in weeks, but they had to take the mast down and put a new mast in, and all the cabinets were taken away because they were just burnt and melted. I'm on my own now because Peter's turned into a black square.
You're not on your own, John. I'm still here.
You're having a quick puff, aren't you, I guess? No, I know I can see that.
Don't give my secret away. Basically, it's just to give you yourself and Pete a chance to have a chat, but we can't keep disappearing.
Okay. Moved
Right.
on to puffing from smoking a fag. Philip likes a puff thing. He's never smoked.
Right.
He doesn't mind using a vape.
There is.
I have no idea whether it's good or bad for your health.
The government are concerned about that, especially amongst school children. There is yet no evidence, because the current phase has only been with us 6 or 7 years, so they don't have enough evidence to say whether it's good or bad. They do know, however, that it is a heck of a lot better than actually smoking tobacco. Talking of which, we have a new health secretary who smokes. Okay, that's a good segue, isn't it? And she has put there was a report due to come out about how they were going to do the next phase of stopping more people smoking, and it's not coming out now.
It's something I tried once when I was about 15 and have never done. I did have a phase one Christmas of having a packet of tiny little cigars that took 2 weeks to smoke, all 5 of them. But that was I'd be about 18 then. But mannequin, and what was the bloke who combed his hair over? Gregor Fisher, wasn't it?
Yeah, mannequins. Those were the thing.
He was in the photo booth, and then the seat drops eventually, doesn't it? After he's combed his hair. Yeah, but I've never smoked really. I mean,
a lot of people haven't, but obviously it's in the country's best interest and the National Health's best interest that the campaign to actually persuade people not to smoke continues. I mean, it's in everybody's interest. I can't see a reason why it should be suppressed.
That's the best picture of you all day, Peter.
Handsome man.
Handsome man. When just not long after Celia and I'd gotten married, the company I worked for organised a river cruise on Worcester on the Severn.
Yeah.
And when we're going down there, and Celia had to go outside to have a fag, to put it bluntly, and she said to me, "Yeah, when they get to 50 pence a packet, I'm definitely going to pack in." Well, where are they now? 10 quid a packet? She still
10 quid, yeah.
She doesn't smoke. Yeah. She just puffs her thing these days, but she hasn't been able to give up at all in her life, ever, and never will.
Can I just mention about smoking? I'm actually one way I'm glad that smoking's gone, because we used to come home stinking of smoke from the pub. But one of the first clubs I sang, and I went on to sing, the bingo had finished, right? And I'm setting up, about to do my first song, and about 99% of the audience walked out. And I said, "Guy, what's happening?" He says, "They've gone for a smoke." But another comment. Another comment today is, I was looking at Facebook. We are in danger of losing a fantastic city centre Marks and Spencer store, and I've used it a lot recently, and I've really enjoyed going back into it. It's a great Marks and Spencer, a great company actually, and they're now saying that their store's being shut throughout Britain, and I think Aberdeen will go. But one of the comments was, it's a massive store, massive, and one of the comments was, "You can turn it into the biggest vaping shop there's ever been." The vaping shops are popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
Now in Solihull, the opposite has happened. Yeah, it's got had a fairly large town centre store, and it had a relatively small food store on a major estate on the edge of town called Marshall Road, Marshall Lane, something like that anyway. But the tenants next door left, and suddenly they got less than a third of a large shed, basically, and they bought the rest, and they moved everything into a new store. They even closed the food hall and created a new huge store. And then 3 weeks after that opened, they closed the one in the town centre. And so there's a huge four or 5 story building literally on the square in the middle of the town, Mel Square, that's now empty and has been empty for nearly 2 years. So it solely helped. They were obviously making some good money.
Yeah. I mean, there are 247 Marks and Spencer stores big stores throughout the country, and they're closing 67 in the next 3 years. And as Pete just said, Aberdeen's could be one of those. It just shows that the move to online, though, doesn't it? The shop.
But more than half of them are reopening as food stores.
Yeah. Well, that's the switch going away from fashion and clothing and everything else to food, because Marks and Spencer's food is the best. I remember when I did live in Burnley, the treat of the week was to go in Marks and Spencer's and buy some posh food for the weekend. Not during the week, we just ate normal, but weekend we ate Marks and Spencer's, and that was the treat. Because the quality of the food, the ready-made meals and the desserts.
On the
first class.
Stratford Road in Shirley, there's a BP garage. Yeah. And inside BP, Shell, whichever is the green and yellow signed one anyway, they've had a food store in there. Yeah. And it's a 2-minute walk through the back alley, because there's a back alley into Marshall Lake Park, to get into that park from where that petrol station is. And everybody said they'll close it. And in fact, it's got more popular from the food store point of view, because sometimes people only want 1 or 2 things and can't be bothered to go and park in the big, in industrial style area, because they can just get it from there. Yeah. So they're selling twice as much food in the place everybody said would shut down, because it's convenient. Yeah. It's on the main road.
We're still at Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah. Sorry, gents. Did you get the last bit of what I said? I suspect you didn't.
No, we didn't. We heard it or not, but carry on.
We heard a bit about you could create the world's largest vape shop, and then you disappeared.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I just thought it was so funny because they're everywhere, Anyway, that was it. But so please don't shut down Marky's.
There are 2 barbers in a row where I live. I go to the one, I've been going to the same woman for cutting my hair for donkey's years. So if it's a mess, it's her fault. But the other one, to make his barbers more popular, he's now split the shop area in half, and half of it is a vape shop. The other half is the barber shop. And he says, because I actually know the bloke, and he says it's the best thing he's done, because people come in for a haircut and buy their vape stuff, and people come in for vape stuff and they say, oh, I could do with a haircut. So it's been a good marketing move for him.
Well, the thing about the vape market is you buy your hardware, and then you have to continually keep going back to buy the software, which is, of course, the vape liquid. So if you get a customer, you persuade them, you sell them the right equipment, then they will keep coming back on a regular basis and buying the liquid from you. Now,
they buy it off the internet, because we had this parcel a week ago about that long, about that wide, and about that high. And it was Celia and Phil's vape juice for the next 3 months.
Did you have to sign for it?
Yes, because it's a combustible. So somebody over 18 had to be in to take it, but Celia was here, so she was happy to sign.
I mean, that's it. Getting it via mail, you have to sign, especially from Amazon. Amazon have got the best prices, has to be said, but you've got to sign for it. Somebody's got to be in at the time they actually deliver it. Yeah. We've got 2 vape shops in town, and in previous times, we've had one for about 5 years now, and every time a new shop came, they used to put their prices down, and of course the new vape shop couldn't compete and disappeared. This time round, though, the new vape shop is actually selling the liquid at £6, and the vape shop I go to sells it for £2.50. Now this is the same liquid, yeah. So it all goes to show that there's one born every minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. £6
you know,
against
going
£2.
back to
Yeah.
going back to barbers, I used to go to this woman beside me, but then she disappeared, and she went into the bar. She said, "So why don't you come to new barber shop?" I said, "I'm sorry, this is what happens now. I go down to Morrison's and I park for free. I go over to my Turkish barber, who knows me well now, knows well I get cut, looks after me, really looks after me. And then I come out of the barber shop and I go back into Morrison's and have a coffee and maybe pick up some spare ribs, etc. And that's why I go to that. Well, I like his cut, but also very convenient, no parking fees, and I get some shopping. So that is very convenient for me, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas I just kill 3 birds with 1 stone there, you know.
Right.
And it's all about servicing your customer. But I will say, Marquis have got a lot of satellite shops now. I don't know about your area, but what they've done is they've got food stores and that. But I don't want them to get rid of their clothes, because I've started buying their trousers. You know,
right.
They've got a good cut about them.
All right.
The last thing I bought from Marquis was my suit, shirt, and tie. When my daughter got married, and that's 3.5 years ago, and I haven't been in Marquis since.
Last week, Iceland said that they would be selling an air fryer at half price at $33.95, and it was all due to kick off on the 10th. Money saving expert, our good friend, who is a good guy, said this is the deal of the year.
I've got to give my MBE back, Lewis. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. It's half price. So on the day that it was due to be launched, Angelica went onto the website, sold out. Yeah, and this was early doors. Then went to Iceland and lost Peter again. It's obviously the talk of air fryers. Went to Iceland. Angelica said, "I'm going to find out what the heck's going on here." She went to get some frozen fruit, frozen veg, and she asked the lady at the counter, "Did you actually get any of these air fryers?" And she said, "Yeah, as a shop, we got 6 of them." Yeah, 6 to service the whole town. And some shops just didn't get any. It was the biggest marketing exercise that wasn't backed by goods I've heard about for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So of course then we went to Curry's. It's a true story. We said, right, okay, we will have an air fryer, because we can see that they're very handy to have, and we can put George Foreman to one side, and it'd be cheaper than running George. But we need to get rid of the microwave, because it's quite a few years old and it's too big. So we went to Curry's, because we wanted to look for a change. We didn't want to go to Amazon, we wanted to go to Curry's. So I went to Curry's, and we saw quite a few air fryers, but not the one that Iceland had been selling, which is why we went there. But we did see a beautiful microwave. So we went out to get an air fryer and came back with a new microwave. And the new microwave is just swish. It is a Samsung microwave, and it does everything. It really does do everything. Just now need to decide what to actually put in it, because that's the thing about microwaves. You either use them a lot or you don't use them. And
did you see the bit about baking a potato
in an air fryer?
No, comparative. Yeah.
All right, no, come on.
Microwave in an oven, £1.25 to do.
Yeah.
To cook a gas oven to cook a large baked potato. In an air fryer, 28 pence.
Yeah.
In a microwave, less than 5p.
Oh, wow. See, you need to do research, don't you? Yeah. I mean, we've got.
I think the headline was something like air fryers not all they're cracked up to be, or something like that.
I saw an article in the Guardian along those lines where they were saying this guy had written an article. He tried an air fryer 10 years ago from Philips. So his technology and knowledge is 10 years old, and he's saying air fryers don't work based on his use of an air fryer 10 years ago. And I thought, you plonker, at least try one of the modern ones. Do you have an air fryer, Peter?
He's still frozen. We don't, and I can't see us getting one. We do have a microwave, which we did change 18 months, maybe even 2 years ago, which does a lot of things that the previous one didn't. So,
yeah. Right.
But it's still only ever used for either cooking a curry in a plastic container, or a Chinese in a plastic container. And occasionally I will do the baked potatoes, but they then go for 10 minutes in the oven to make them lovely and crisp.
Oh yeah, you've got to have a. Right, okay, I think Peter's gone again, so we'll hide Peter.
He's having a bad day today. Keeps going
away. Internet-wise, it's not working at all well, is it? I mean, this is the thing about hotel Wi-Fi, though. It's so diluted by the number of people in the hotel at the time actually using it. Yeah. But his hotspot should be doing better, shouldn't it?
Well, that's what he's been on for the last 20 minutes or so. But even that's not doing that well for him.
Yeah. Okay.
There must be too many people in Edinburgh, full stop. So it doesn't matter what you're using, it's not working. I'm having a bad time with my knees again. I'm not quite sure what to do with them. I've stopped.
Have you seen anybody?
No.
Sorry, probably have. Go on.
Average of 4.5 weeks to get to see a doctor around here.
Wow.
I'll probably be dead or better by then.
Well, you book the appointment anyway and hope that, yeah.
I haven't bothered, to be honest. I think I might just find a local person, that specialises in, can't think of what the correct word is, but, muscles and bones and things.
Muscles, yeah.
Yeah. Peter's back again. In, out, shake it all about.
Well, we're doing that this weekend. I've got a big gig on Saturday. I'll be singing. I'm dreading it. It's a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Where
not a wedding then, Peter. Not a wedding.
Sorry?
It's not a wedding.
No, it's just a local pub. It's opened again and I've been booked, and they've put out some advertising and things. So yeah, that's good. But it's a long gig. He says 9 till 1. I goes, what?
How many breaks do you get in that?
No, well, I says, right, it's my first gig in a while. I'll give you a bit less. And he says 9 till 1. I says, it'll be more than less. I need more money for that.
Well, that'll be what? 4 spots, 1 an hour?
Something like that, but I'm going to be doing a bit of speaking. I'll tell you that. I'll intermingle with it. I'm not going to be like a jukebox,
Right.
I'll use my talents to pick out what I said. I'm looking at that lady over there.
And now he's stuck looking at that lady over there.
Will we ever know the end to that story? I don't know. Okay. I just want to take a screenshot. Just a second. Bear with us a minute. I'm going to take a screenshot. Right, sit still, John. Right, and over here, and okay, we've got a screenshot now. Okay, Peter pointing the way. Ah, dear, oh dear. And it's been saved to the cloud. I do like, I'm using a piece of software called XSplit Capture, and it's the best desktop screen capture I've seen. It really is. And they actually save the images in the cloud for free. Yeah. So you just set the dimensions, press the button, and it uploads itself to the cloud. Absolutely brilliant. But we all have our favourites. I've ditched Snagit though. Snagit is pain in the.
I never liked Snagit. There was just something about it. I mean, I still got Camtasia, but I just Snagit just doesn't work for me.
No, it's a memory hog. You've got to load it at startup. Yeah, it doesn't just sit as an icon in the tray at the bottom. You've got to load it at startup. It sits there in the background. It's a bit like an Echo Dot. It's waiting for you to use it. Yeah, and it's waiting for the right click to come and say, right, okay, do your stuff, capture a screen. And by the time you get it working, the moment's gone.
Yeah. I use a Shampoo Snap, which has a little bar at the top of the screen. You hover over it and immediately you can just click one icon to record a screen, another icon to to choose a section of screen, or another icon that records a video. So it's really pretty good. It doesn't hold too much memory, and once you've captured it, you can set it up to decide, does it save to local disk, does it save to any of the common web spaces like Office 365's OneDrive, and it's pretty good, and it's peanut money. That's about 15 quid I think to buy. But it's what you used to, because I started with Snap version 2 and we're on Snap version 19 or something like that now, you know.
Yeah, once you're happy with the piece of software, you are loyal, aren't you? You don't tend to swap around and change things. What's the other? Screencast-O-Matic coming into its own as well. Screencast-O-Matic now has Screencast-O-Matic Stories, which is absolutely brilliant. I know it's an old idea turned on its head, because using Screencast-O-Matic, you can bring in pre-recorded video, do a bit of live, do another pre-recorded, and you can put it all together and tell a story, and it all comes in different chunks, and then you can just press the button, it stitches it all together, and you get one video. I quite enjoy doing it because it's very intuitive, very straightforward. It's the same Screencast-O-Matic editor we've been using for donkey's years.
So products I've never used. If I want to stitch things together, 99 times out of 100, I'll use Camtasia.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. Screencast-O-Matic's come on so much this year. I'm going to stop Camtasia. He said. Well, is it 47?
I bought a license this year, so I'll get next year's for free.
Right. Okay. And nothing wrong with Camtasia. It's a brilliant product. It's the Rolls Royce of video editors.
Well, I have all the Adobe products as well, because I have a monthly Adobe subscription.
Right.
Adobe Express, free. You really need to have a look at it. It's absolutely amazing, and it's free. There's a paid version as well if you want one that does a lot more, but you can do so much with the free version. It's not true, and it's full of templates and a whole loads of other things, stuff to use. What's the word I'm looking for? Picture art and all sorts of stuff. And you get limited, with the free, you get limited access to the Adobe photo library. And with the paid version, you get full access. Yeah, and it also has a one-click background remover that is just amazing in its capability, which is hiked out of Photoshop and put into that. And I saw a video recently on YouTube where somebody compared the two, Photoshop's background removal and Adobe Express's free background removal, and the results were absolutely amazing on both of them.
Welcome back, Peter.
Hello.
I just thought I'd come back in and listen to get ready to say cheerio. I thought I'd say cheerio.
Right, brilliant. You want to hear the immortal words then? John, it's over to you.
So it's goodbye from our wee friend in Scotland. It's goodbye from our West Country representative. And it's goodbye from me in the Midlands, near the Rover factory that has a back order book of 228,000 vehicles because they can't get the electronics to make them quick enough. So goodbye from him, goodbye from him, goodbye from me. Same place, same time next week. Bye.
Bye.